Hello there. Mourning for Elizabeth II ends, Charles III takes over, and doubts about the monarchy are kept small with pomp and police. The Republic has no chance in the kingdom. On this Monday, the Elizabethan era ended. With the largest funeral service in decades, state guests from all over the world paid their last respect to Elizabeth II. They commemorated a queen who has worn the crown for 70 years. It was 70 years in which the monarchy was hardly questioned by the majority of the public. In the past 10 days, pride has grown even stronger. The idea of changing the form of government to a republic is widely taboo. When the national mourning for Elizabeth ended this Monday evening, her son, Charles III, is already the new monarch of the United Kingdom and head of 14 other countries of the former empire. He followed Elizabeth without there having been any discussion or election or vote or something, without any citizen or what they call them subject being asked. Such is the automatism with which the crown is carried from generation to generation in a constitutional monarchy, in the United Kingdom since 1660. But it is only in these days of mourning that the power of the British monarchy, the devotion of the country to it, and the uniform chorus of the media, which have glorified this monarchy without the slightest hint of criticism for 10 days, became clear. Almost half of the public is of the opinion that the all round noise from the media and the daily newspapers filled with a number of special pages were too much of a good thing, as we would say here. However, anyone who criticized the monarchy or the new king was taken away, in case of doubt, even arrested and punished for breach of the peace. The so called breach of the peace dates back to 1361. That's a law against the violation of the peace, which was originally intended to protect the peace of Our Lady the Queen, her crown, and dignity, as it's called, and to prevent seditious behavior. It allows the police to take action against anyone they suspect of intending to harm another person or their property. In these days of national mourning, the police reacted with astonishing harshness. Not just at a 22-year-old man who, the moment the funeral procession carrying the Queen's coffin moved through Edinburgh and thousands of onlookers respectfully waited at the roadside and started yelling, "Andrew, you a sick old fellow." It was a reference to Prince Andrew's past friendship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Two bystanders pulled the young man to the ground before the police could take him away. Numerous mourners immediately smothered the tumult with the chorus, "Long live the King." Less understandable was the police intervention when they arrested a young woman in Parliament Square in London who was holding up a small placard that read, "Not my king," before the arrival of King Charles III. The police commented on this: "This may offend other people." And in Oxford, a 45-year-old Simon Hill was taken away when he cried out during the proclamation of the new king, who actually elected him. And another incident was when lawyer and barrister Paul Powlesland was quite rudely asked by police for his name and personal information after holding a blank sign and saying he wanted to write "Not my king" on it. The police prohibited this, saying it could offend mourners. Some demonstrators then made a joke of themselves and gathered to hold up blank placards, also a reference to arrests of people in Russia demonstrating against the war with blank signs. NGOs such as the Index of Censorship, Big Brother Watch, and Liberty have criticized such arrests, some of which the police later reversed. Freedom to demonstrate is not a gift from the state, it's a fundamental civil right, said the organization Liberty. London police later issued a statement stressing, "The public has, of course, the right to demonstrate, and we are telling our officers involved in this extraordinary security operation." Thousands of police officers were brought from the country to the big cities, especially London, to ensure security during national mourning. The nervousness was great because the police are dealing with one of the largest operations in their history. It is as if you have to organize 100 state visits at once, it said with a view to the funeral service that happened on Monday. With the small demonstrations, activists also wanted to show, well, that it is hardly possible to express dissent these days. I think more important than the monarchy are the civil liberties like freedom of expression that we have built up over the centuries. It would be wrong if we just ignored that in moments like this. That's what Paulsland later said. And he's not a single voice there. Many Britons are surprised and alienated by the expected loyalty to the monarchy. The lawyer said he used to accept the monarchy, but now he's a Republican. The Republic campaign is also calling for the constitution to be changed, since the royal family is not accountable to anyone and is not elected by anyone. Therefore, the family can abuse their privileges, abuse their influence, and waste money without being stopped. These are allegations that have directly affected Prince Andrew in particular, but also Prince Charles, the current king, or now King Charles III. A demonstration took place in Wales on Friday with Real Democracy Now! Organisations, unions and Welsh independence activists calling for Wales to become a republic after independence. 25,000 people have also signed a petition calling for the abolition of the title of Prince of Wales, which Charles just bequeathed to his son, Prince William. In fact, the idea of a republic never caught on in England. From the execution of Charles III in 1649 to the restoration of the monarchy under Charles II in 1660, General and statesman Oliver Cromwell made the attempt, but he and Parliament could not agree on a form of constitution and separation of powers. The ceremonies of the proclamation of King Charles III in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland therefore date back to protocols that have endured for almost 400 years. The costumes and uniforms have suggested to the British public in the past week that this is about something that has shaped the country for centuries, that is and has endured and is far above daily politics and the zeitgeist. The almost simultaneous ceremonies of the proclamation in all four parts of the country have demonstrated a unity of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland that politically hardly exists anymore. This and the one-sided reporting of the media is a little bit of a problem, because people think that that's why the respect for the Queen has to be transferred to the King. And you can see it in polls. His ratings to be a good king went from 35% to 63% just in 1 week. And at the moment, monarchy is the pride of the nation in England today more than ever. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.